SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The medical team treating Bills safety Damar Hamlin has seen signs of improvement, but Hamlin is still in critical condition and in intensive care. Bengals coach Zach Taylor today had words of praise for the first responders after Hamlin collapsed.
For me personally, being down there and seeing the composure that everybody involved had, obviously not knowing how the situation is going to unfold, I was led to believe that it was going to be positive because of how they handled it. And I think that's important to point out that they were prepared and that they gave Damar the best chance.
Bengals coach Zach Taylor. Rookie Sam Howell will be the starting quarterback for the Commanders in their season finale Sunday against the Cowboys. Carson Wentz will be inactive for what will very likely be his last game with the team. Anthony Hudson will coach the U.S. men's soccer team in 2 friendlies later this month. Head coach Greg Berhalter is now being investigated by the Federation regarding a 1991 domestic violence incident. Daniel Reyna, whose son Gio is on the team, contacted the Federation about the incident.
Coming up Thursday, will Aaron Rodgers, yes, that Aaron Rodgers, ever win another Super Bowl? We'll have the answer on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Thursday, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Demario Tolan in the port. What in the world's going on there?
It's hump day.
I need answers.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Jay Bramblin's coming back. Maybe LSU won't stink on special teams next year.
It's hump day.
Basketball Tigers.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Moral victory? Yeah. Played hard? Yeah, come on. Why are you frowning, you?
It's hump day.
Moral victory.
I don't believe in moral victories.
Nope. Sure you do.
Mike.
Played
What day is it, Mike?
Great.
Yeah.
Lost the game. Yeah. Lost the game.
Expectations. Building blocks.
It's hump day.
Moral victories.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You on all of it, except the moral victory.
Hump day.
All right, let's get going. We got a lot to get to. Zion's hurt. That stinks. LSU did lose last night, but giving it a go, man. Giving it a good go there in Lexington last night. We'll get into it all. I am really surprised at this news. Demario Tolan has not announced anything on his social media. I'm refreshing right now just to make sure that I haven't missed something from Demario Tolan. So he has not announced on his social media. But everyone out there seems to have this news, and I believe On3 was the first to have it. At least they're the first to have the cool, fancy, schmancy graphic per Matt Zenitz, that Demario Tolan, the LSU freshman linebacker, is entering or has entered the transfer portal. And I am floored by this news for a lot of reasons. And this news of Demario Tolan entering the transfer portal This news has turned linebacker from maybe a want to an absolute need for LSU now in the transfer portal. They've got to go get linebackers, plural. This is part of the reason I'm so surprised. In November, before the Arkansas game, Brian Kelly on his radio show said this about freshman linebacker Demario Tolan.
Demario Tolan, don't forget that name. You're going to have a combination of Tolan and Perkins that I couldn't be more excited about. Demario Tolan is coming into his own. He's a true freshman. Demario had back surgery in the summer, which put him back quite a bit. No pun intended there. Certainly, he is a young man that has a bright future. He's doing some really good things. He has the instincts of a Micah Baskerville as a true freshman. And I mean that in terms of pass coverage, understanding how to attack the line of scrimmage, and he's got incredible athletic ability. His future is very, very bright. We're very blessed there to have those two linebackers.
I mean, the head coach says, look, guy had back surgery over the summer. He got injured in spring, had back surgery over the summer. It set him back. He still played in 12 games this year, y'all. And by the end of the year, Demario Tolan was taking reps from Greg Penn. There were times where you would see 32 on the field with 23, and Penn was the one that came off. Tolan essentially bypassed West Weeks as the third guy in the rotation. Now, I'm counting Harold Perkins as the jack because he was playing a different position. I'm talking on the inside where you had Baskerville and you had Greg Penn, and Tolan started taking reps away by the end of the season. Now, Tolan did not play in the bowl game, and as best I could tell talking to people around, he wasn't even dressed. So I don't even know if he was in Orlando at this point. But the reason that this is so incredibly perplexing is the coaching staff loved the guy. They raved about him. He overcame injury, and by the end of his freshman season was getting legit reps and snaps and playing time, not just like an excuse me, end of the game, running out the clock rep, or just special teams. Like, he was playing linebacker. I mean, he was part of the rotation by the end of his freshman season. And then look at the linebacker position, y'all. Micah Baskerville's off to the NFL. Mike Jones is off to the NFL. You've already had Desmond Little and Colby Fields enter the portal. Now, Little was playing a different position. He was kind of playing that jack spot, but still a linebacker in this defense. And Colby Fields, who spent 1 year coming in from South Carolina, is in the portal as well, which means your only scholarship linebackers returning are Greg Penn, Harold Perkins, West Weeks, who Tolan had seemingly passed. So he was part of a 3 or 4 man rotation. There's not a lot that's obvious. Like, I understand if you're Colby Fields, why you left. Maybe the bigger question is, why did you ever come here to begin with? I get it. You're buried on the depth chart. It was going to be hard for you to crack the rotation. I get why some of the offensive linemen that have chosen to leave, Marcus Dumerville, I get why Marcus Dumerville left. You can understand a lot in the transfer portal why guys leave based on availability, snaps, playing time availability, if they were going to crack a rotation. I get it with a lot of them. Demario Tolan doesn't make a lick of sense. Coaching staff loved him. He had cracked the rotation. You were thin there. He was going to be a massive part of that rotation next year, major contributor. And the only linebacker, you did not bring in any portal linebackers. The only linebackers you have coming in are Whit Weeks, who's a 4-star, and Christian Braithwaite, a 3-star. So now, without Tolan, all you have coming back at linebacker is Greg Penn, Harold Perkins, West Weeks, and then the 2 freshmen coming in, Whit Weeks and Christian Braithwaite. Now, we all agree here that Harold Perkins is going to be a superstar, and he's going to move from jack inside with Baskerville out. So you'll have Perkins and Penn as your starting inside linebackers. West Weeks will be part of that rotation, but you can't go into the season with just those 3 guys and 2 freshmen. So this has gone from a want at linebacker to a must. Like, you have got to go add, like you did a year ago when you added West Weeks and Colby Fields because you were trying to rebuild that room. Well, now you need to do it again. And that's unfortunate. Brian Kelly has said, look, they want to go into the portal and not get guys with just 1 year of eligibility. That was the thought with adding West Weeks and Colby Fields. You were supplementing that position with guys who knew they were going to come in and not be heavy contributors this year, but you were building the depth there. Well, both of those guys, Weeks and Fields, got passed up by the two freshmen, Perkins and Tolan. It just doesn't make any sense why Tolan was leaving. Now, I will speculate here, and I want to put in big, big, big flashing letters. I am speculating. I am speculating. I'm not telling you anything I know. I'm not telling you anybody has told me this. I am just speculating. Because so often when something looks funny, smells funny, chances are there's something funny going on. For all the reasons I just laid out, why it makes so much sense for Demario Tolan to return and makes no sense at all for him to leave, the only thing that I can come to terms with is maybe there's an NIL opportunity somewhere else for him, and some of the very aggressive programs paid him. Now, we will see where he lands. I don't know where that's going to be, but there's some programs, and you all know what programs they are, that have been very, very upfront and out front and public with the amount of money they're spending in NIL. And if Demario Tolan lands at one of them, then I think it is a very safe assumption to say that there were some NIL incentives and inducements there to cause him to jump into the portal. And I get it. Can't use NIL as a recruiting inducement. Can't talk to players before they're in the portal. That's tampering. But NIL has created a culture where all of those lines are blurred. Yeah, coaching staff members and members of the athletic department certainly couldn't talk to a player. Could a member of another school's collective who's not officially affiliated with the university reach out to a player? That's what's alleged to have happened with Drake May. Could it have happened here? Maybe. Again, the big disclaimer, I'm not telling you that I know. I'm completely speculating. But there's a handful of schools. We all know them. Florida, Miami, Auburn, Texas A&M. We know the schools that have giant collectives that are spending a ton in NIL. And if Demario Tolan lands at one of them, I think it's a safe assumption to say he probably is getting a big NIL deal to go somewhere. And that wouldn't surprise me tremendously because I think he's a great player with tremendous upside. You don't have to take my word for it. Listen to what the coach said about it. There's not a lot that makes sense as to why Demario Tolan would leave, which leads you to, okay, what are the other reasons that would cause a player like that, who had such a giant future that the coaching staff loved, that was playing as a freshman, to suddenly leave? And we may get that answer in short order, but this is a big blow for LSU because they like Demario Tolan. They are now very, very thin at linebacker, and they have got to go address that now in the portal. As you're following it, the portal window is going to close later this month, but guys in the portal can join their new school at any point. And there's another portal window after spring. So if there's another wave of players that enter the transfer portal after spring football, you better believe LSU is going to be targeting that position in particular because they need linebackers now in the worst way with the news of Demario Tolan jumping in the portal and leaving LSU. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. My goodness, I love my friends over at Relief Windows. Brandon and Adrian Holly are just awesome people, and as much as I go to bat for Relief Windows, really who I'm going to bat for are Brandon and Adrian Holly and the work that they do and the work their staff does and the level of service that they require and demand that everyone provide. That's the thing that sets Relief Windows apart. They always say experience, quality, and service. They've got the experience, quality materials, and products that they install, but the service is what sets them apart. They will never take a dollar from you until you're thrilled with the work they've done. That's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all. Hope your Wednesday is off to a great start. We're going to knock out our first break of the show. We'll get to the Saints injury report in a second. I do want to get some thoughts on LSU's loss at Rupp last night, this LSU basketball team. Taylor Calandro in about 30 minutes for a little Bourbon Dictionary. You know how you can always get involved. You can email us, tweet us, jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can text in the 225 at 396-4400. 396-4400, 396-4400. After further review, we'll continue next. Stick around.
AFR.
So thrilled to welcome aboard a new member of the AFR family. It's New Orleans Flooring. You can learn more at nolaflooring.com, nolaflooring.com. 2 locations. They're in Metairie and on Airline Highway in Prairieville. So if you're going south on Airline Highway into Prairieville, look to your right. You can't miss it. There's a giant New Orleans Flooring sign on the building. It's New Orleans Flooring. What sets New Orleans Flooring apart is the fact that they have over 1 million square foot of product in stock. They don't have to order things from the manufacturers, whatever, because they warehouse it right there on Airline Highway in Prairieville. They have material in stock. They cut out the middleman so they can give you a better price. You're getting amazing flooring options at a better price. It's New Orleans Flooring. Go online to request an estimate at nolaflooring.com. Again, online, it's nolaflooring.com. Metairie and Prairieville, and online, nolaflooring.com.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCoRoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
A first injury report of the final week of the regular season, final week of the season for the New Orleans Saints is out. Paulson Adebo has told reporters he will not play this weekend. He's got a hamstring injury. So Adebo listed on today's injury report as a DNP, but has confirmed he's not going to play. So hamstring injury, no need in rushing him back. That would certainly mean Alontae Taylor will start opposite Marshawn Lattimore here in the finale of the 2022 season for the New Orleans Saints. So Adebo did not practice. Also not practicing on Wednesday, left tackle James Hurst, tight end Juwan Johnson with a quad injury, safety Marcus May with a shoulder injury, left guard Andrews Pete with an ankle injury, and running back Dwayne Washington with an illness, as the designation is. Other players that were limited, Justin Evans, Chase Hansen, and Ty Summers. So they've gotten healthier. It's still a lengthy injury list, and you're going to be without Paulson Adebo, who's obviously had a sophomore slump. But a lot of the key players who at various times this year you have been without are going to be available. The most obvious here are going to be the left side of your offensive line with James Hurst and Andrews Pete. We'll see if they're available. And then obviously Juwan Johnson has become such a key part of this offense here, especially in the second half of this season. Juwan Johnson has had a blow-up year. And if when the season's over and we kind of do the post-mortem on the season and we look at the good and the bad and what went right and what went wrong and reasons for optimism or reasons for concern, one of the reasons for optimism is going to be Juwan Johnson. I mean, Juwan Johnson has emerged this year into the pass-catching tight end that the Saints have really hunted and needed in this offense. And I'm saying this offense because Pete Carmichael has sort of always been affixed to Sean Payton and a continuation of that. And you don't need me to spell this out, but you can go back to obviously having Jeremy Shockey and Jimmy Graham, and then looking for that replacement for Jimmy Graham in the years subsequent with if it were Kobe Fleener. Ben Watson had some success there, but Fleener was a flop, obviously. Jared Cook was so disappointing. Look, his drop against Tampa probably cost. It's not fair to say that alone cost the Saints, the divisional round against Tampa in the COVID year. But I mean, it was a massive play in that game, and was really the final straw for Jared Cook. They drafted Adam Troutman, which hasn't panned out. But you look at what Juwan Johnson has done, putting on weight. Played wide receiver at Penn State, transferred to Oregon, came into the league. The Saints have converted him to a tight end, and this year it's been a productive year for him. And I could really look maybe at the 2-touchdown game against Arizona as the jumping off point. And since then, he was productive against Baltimore, had 5 catches for 44 yards against Pittsburgh with a touchdown. He had a touchdown reception against the Rams. Had 4 catches against Atlanta and 2 touchdowns. And obviously there wasn't much offense at all in the game against Cleveland with the freezing temperatures, but 5 catches this past week against Philly for 62 yards with a long of 21. He's become that guy. So, yes, as we look at the injury report, you're going to focus on the left side of your offensive line and potentially, with 2 starters not practicing today. But Juwan Johnson, I think, for this offense to go is as integral as anybody on that list today. And for whatever it's worth, the Saints right now are a 3.5-point home favorite in that game against the Carolina Panthers. And there's another sort of subplot to this game, which is the potential of the Sean Payton coaching decision looming over it for a lot of different reasons. We teased this a couple times yesterday. I just never got to it on the rundown because I never feel like I had enough space on the dance floor to explore it. But you got to explore the studio space. It was going to be a beautiful track. But at the start of hour 2, I've got enough time allocated. So we're going to talk about Sean Payton and all of the potential landing spots at the start of hour 2. And Carolina's on that list. I think every team that has fired their coach or could potentially fire their coach has got to be discussed with respect to the Sean Payton conversation. He is going to be the most coveted coaching free agent this offseason, and wherever he lands is, as we all know very obviously, just a huge, huge factor into the future of this organization, because Sean Payton will be coming back into the league, and the Saints are going to recoup some type of capital, draft capital, for Sean Payton, and what that draft capital turns into for New Orleans is going to be pivotal. I mean, this is a pendulum swinging moment for this franchise of this offseason in New Orleans. First year under Dennis Allen has not gone like many thought or hoped it would, and there are changes that have to be made to get this franchise back on a winning track. This is now back-to-back seasons without a playoff appearance. How do you get back? Well, what they do with Sean Payton, who kind of is their best asset right now, it's their best bargaining chip right now, is massive, and Carolina is one of those teams. There's a report today that Carolina's management has met with Jim Harbaugh as he may be considering leaving Michigan. He does that dance every offseason, it seems. And maybe this is the year where he does jump back into the NFL if the right position is there. Remember, Harbaugh last year interviewed for the Vikings job. And maybe this is the time where he gets back in. And maybe it is Carolina with a a new owner with a gigantic checkbook. Or maybe they go after Sean Payton. But all of that does sort of loom over this week and this team as they move into Week 18. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Remember, if you want to bet on Week 18 or any of your favorite sports action, you can always do so at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. By the way, Otter last night gave you a 3-game moneyline parlay in college basketball, which hit. And if you were, in fact, listening to Game Time with Jimmy Ott, Matt Humans was on Game Time last night, and he gave you a play of Fresno +4 against New Mexico, who, by the way, was the last remaining unbeaten team in college basketball. Not only did Fresno cover with the 4, they won the game outright. There you go. So it pays to listen to Otter Locks. It pays to listen to Game Time with Jimmy Ott. And it pays to use the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Always use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge, to unlock all their great specials. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. NFL Week 18, college basketball, NBA, NHL. It's all there for you. College Football National Championship coming up on Monday. Bet on it all at the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-770-STOP. All right, LSU basketball went to Rupp last night and fell 3 points short against the Kentucky Wildcats. Tigers were at one point a 10-point dog. I think maybe it went off I saw it as high as 12.5. So Kentucky was a pretty decided favorite in this game, and they do pull it out at home, 74-71. Tigers had a look at the buzzer to try to tie it, send it to overtime. It wouldn't fall. They were the recipient of some misfortune. Jacob Toppin hit an off-balance 3, which was just crushing considering he's one of the worst shooters in the SEC. But Rupp's a hard place to go. It's a place that in their basketball history, LSU has not won much, and that was a tall task for Matt McMahon and this team's first true road game of the season. They obviously played neutral site games in the Caymans and Atlanta. This was the first true road game, and to have to do it at Rupp Arena was a really, really big ask. But the Tigers played hard. Here was Matt McMahon on the loss at Rupp Arena on Tuesday night.
The game was a little different than I expected. I thought both teams played better offensively than I was anticipating going in. I thought on the offensive end, we're at 50% from the floor, 11 of 25 from 3, 15 assists, 9 turnovers. That's good enough to win. We just weren't able to get enough stops. They hit some tough shots, but we finally I thought the last 8 minutes, we got better on the glass. We closed that gap a little bit, but Wheeler banks in the 3. Toppin hits the 3 out of the corner, just some clutch shots they were able to knock down. But I thought for the most part, our guys executed very well on the offensive end.
That was Matt McMahon on the LSU Sports Radio Network after the game last night at Rupp Arena. And he's right. And I'll tell you, the big takeaway coming out of the Arkansas loss was LSU, their woeful inefficiency. The Arkansas win, but it was their woeful inefficiency offensively. They scored 61 points. And I would have believed LSU would have scored 61 in that game. I would not believe they would have scored 61 and won the game. Shooting 23% from 3, 40% from the floor, 50% from the free throw line. It was an anemic offensive day, but LSU still managed because of their defensive intensity and a really cold shooting day for Arkansas to win that game. Well, LSU, in the game at Kentucky, went out in the first half and was very strong. Scored 38 points in the first half. 52% from the floor in the first half. They were 46% from 3. KJ Williams, 23 points, only 3 boards. Listen, the big story of the game, why LSU lost, is pretty obvious. The reigning National Player of the Year is Oscar Tshiebwe. He had 20 points and 19 rebounds last night. He's the best rebounder in college basketball. Kentucky, for the game, ended up with 10 offensive rebounds to your 5. They had 12 second chance points to your 6. I mean, you can't keep giving a team like that multiple opportunities on the offensive end, and they did. And Kentucky, that's why they won the game. But offensively, for LSU to shoot 49% from the floor, 44% from 3, to go 11 of 25, 8 of 10 from the free throw line, they were better offensively last night. And two sort of big picture things coming out of this game. LSU through 2 conference games has played much more competitive basketball than I thought they would, than many thought they would. My hands in the air. They beat top 10 Arkansas, and they went on the road to Rupp and gave Kentucky a hell of a run for their money. I don't know that the record is going to look much different than I thought at the beginning of the season. I thought if LSU could go 8-10 in the league, get to 19 wins, they're an NIT team. And that's a really good first season for Matt McMahon if that's how it could play out. But that's a big ask in this league. I mean, you've still got next at A&M, home against Florida, and then the meat grinder. You're at number 7 Alabama, home against 22nd ranked Auburn, home against 8th ranked Tennessee. You're at 13th ranked Arkansas. You play Texas Tech at home, and you're at 20th ranked Missouri, which scored 100 on Kentucky. So, like, you've got a really, really tough slate ahead, as we all know. But I also didn't think LSU was going to beat Arkansas and challenge Kentucky the way they did. So I don't know that the record is going to look dramatically different, but how the games play out, I think will. And that's pretty clear at this point, that LSU has great defensive buy-in. And if they can gain more offensive efficiency, then yes, they might be able to steal a game or two here that I didn't think they would. This Saturday, you're going to go play Texas A&M on the road. You got to win that game. A&M is 8-5 overall. That's not a great college basketball team. You got to beat the Aggies. I get it's on the road. You got to go win that one. And then you're home against Florida, which is a good basketball team. Let me rephrase. They got a good young coach. They got some talent. They're figuring it out with a new head coach, but that's still a tough game. You have it at home. These next two, you got to get. If you start 3-1 in the league, you can go through that meat grinder I just described and lose them all. Because if you come through the first 11 in conference with 3 wins, as gaudy as that may sound, at 3-8, I'd take it. I'd take it. Because I think you can go 5-2 or 6-1 in your last 7. And if you do that, then you're looking at 18 or 19 conference wins, and total wins. And if you're there at 18 or 19 wins, you're going to be an NIT team because your net ranking is going to continue to increase with the schedule that's coming in all the quad 1 games you have to play, win or lose. So I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged by the way that they've played. Again, I don't think you're looking at an NCAA tournament team, but I'm encouraged by the way they're playing. It's validating that I think they are going to beat the bottom half of the SEC. Now, the other thing I'll tell you from last night that I think is a big takeaway that's important to note moving forward is Adam Miller. Adam Miller, we all know the story, was supposed to be LSU's great scorer. A year ago, tore his ACL, didn't play, came out this year and has struggled mightily to shoot the basketball. He has just continued putting them up, but he has struggled this year. That goes really without saying. Adam Miller is, let's see, for the season from 3, he is 31% from 3 on the year. Coming off the ACL, I think, and we have seen Adam Miller, Team USA at Illinois in high school, we have seen him shoot the basketball effectively. Last night, I hope, he made 5 3. Let me get the game log. I want to make sure I have that right. I think he made 5 threes last night. He was 5 of 13 for 38%. If Adam Miller is pushing 40% from 3, if Adam Miller for the season can get that 3-point average up to around 38%, now all of a sudden you're a different offense. Because KJ Williams can play inside and out. He hit 3 threes last night. He stretches a defense. And if he has an outlet to Adam Miller that can hurt you now, if you overcommit to KJ Williams, now you have the shooter offensively that you really need with this team. And offensively, it looks much different. So what I hope is the case is Adam Miller seeing the ball go in the basket last night is the thing that sets him off for the rest of the year. To be the guy that we've seen him be before. And they hoped would be when he showed up here. I think being at Rupp last night and having the success he did, hopefully, is the thing that gets him going. Because listen, against Arkansas, he was 1 of 3. Against East Tennessee State, he was 0 for 5. Against Winthrop, he was 2 for 10. Against North Carolina Central, he was 0 for 8. Against Wake, he was 1 for 6. I mean, it was a struggle. Adam Miller was riding the struggle bus, shooting the basketball from 3. Hopefully, he cured some of that last night at Rupp. All right, I'm late. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back, go around the SEC. Taylor Calandro in about 12 minutes from right now. Get your booze questions in. You know how to do it. Stick around with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side, whether it's 77 degrees like it was yesterday, 75 like it is right now, or 18 degrees like it was a couple of weeks ago. If it's your home central AC or your heater, let River City's 1 Hour Air help you out. Bob Bouquet sent this 5-star Google review, which said Jacob, the technician, was very knowledgeable and friendly. He definitely is service-oriented. Jacob got us back up and running in no time. If you want to have an exceptional customer service experience with technicians that get the job done right the first time, and by the way, they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. They work nights, holidays, weekends, and they never charge you extra. Let me say that again. Nights, holidays, weekends, and they never charge you extra to come out after hours. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit. We get it done with passion for our fans and love for our community. We are the Tigers. Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Corval Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Oh, look at Muse. Look how fired up he is. He's coming out of his chair.
Yeah.
Look. Oh, Muse. Come on.
Oh, no. We're fired up.
You can't just go,
I can go, yeah.
yeah.
You could hear the smile in that.
No, I couldn't.
You couldn't.
Paul, could you hear it? Paul, could you hear the smile?
I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it either. I mean,
Paul don't even have his headphones in. That's
yes,
why
he
he couldn't
does.
hear it.
he does. He's got it. Look, he's got his earbud in.
It's got one in.
I can see it. Oh, I can see it. No, we can hear. The reason Muse is with his muted anticipation. D1 Baseball has listed their top 100 impact transfers of this upcoming college baseball season, and not one, not two, not three, but 4 made the list. And to make this even more comical, 3 of the top 7.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that good?
3 of the top 7.
Is that good? 4 in the top 30. I mean, if you really want to push it that far.
The lowest rated is Christian Little at 29.
He came from Vanderbilt. Do they produce pitchers? No, I don't know.
And he's probably not even going to be in the rotation.
Probably not.
Tommy White, a.k.a. Tommy Tanks, number 1. Paul Skeens from Air Force, number 2. The top 2. And then Thatcher Hurd from UCLA, who should be in the rotation, is there at number 7. Skeens is likely going to be your Friday night guy. So do you remember after the SEC championship game, I told you I made a bet with a drunk guy at the bar?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
Were you at the bar?
Yeah. It was a good night.
Did you leave early?
No.
You stayed?
I left at like 1 a.m.
Do you remember the bet?
I remember the bet.
Yes. I don't want to say these gentlemen's name, but it was 2 brothers, and the older brother was just poo-pooing LSU, saying they don't have the pitching. They don't have the pitching. I said, how about this? Like, let's make a bet. So we bet whether or not LSU would go to Omaha, and it was and we got, me and the other brother got 3-1 odds. So basically, if LSU makes it to Omaha, this brother has to pay me and his brother $3,000. If LSU does not make it to Omaha, I and other brother have to pay him $1,000 each. So essentially, your boy's funding my trip to Omaha.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna pay me. LSU's gonna make Omaha. He's gonna pay me $3,000. It's gonna pay for me to go to Omaha. Pretty jacked about it.
You should be. They're really good. I mean, they're really. Thatcher Hurd, you mean the guy who was injured all of last year? He's the 7th best transfer. They're really good.
Hey, they got Dylan Cruz too.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Trey Morgan, he doesn't stink.
Oh my God, let's go around the SEC. Let's do it here. Oh man, they're gonna be so stupid good.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
I really don't.
Texas A&M.
I really don't think they get it. I don't think they get how much talent this team has. Bobby Petrino back in college football. He's the new Texas A&M offensive coordinator. After like 5 days at UNLV, he's leaving Vegas to go to Texas A&M. Petrino and Jimbo Fisher, match made in heaven.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Marcus Woodson is the new Arkansas co-DC. Linebackers coach Michael Scher expected to follow Barry Odom to UNLV to become their DC. So Arkansas has already hired Travis Williams. Marcus Woodson now the co-DC. He's a former 2-year starter at safety at Ole Miss. He's been a coach in college football for almost 20 years.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Utah wide receiver coach Chad Bumpus is heading home. He's a former Mississippi State wide receiver. He's joining Zach Arnett's staff in the same role. Played at State from 09 to 12, second in program history in receiving yards. Inside receivings coach Drew Hollingshead and outside coach, receivers coach Steve Spurrier Jr., both leaving Mississippi State.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Will Reichert has had a change of heart. The Bama kicker is returning to school for a 5th season. He'll take advantage of the COVID year. He's already the program's all-time leader in points scored. Reichert's backup this season, Jack Martin, transferred to Houston last month.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
And Tennessee tight end Jacob Warren will return for a 6th season. The other tight end, Princeton Fant, has exhausted all of his eligibility. Warren has played in 41 career games, but is coming back for year 6 up there on Rocky Top. Vols also added UC Davis tight end McAllen Castles from the transfer portal. Please make a note. We will get Sharif Ishaq on the show soon for a fantastic ranking of the name McAllen Castles. There you have it. That is Around the SEC. Presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Online, GCOPnet.com. GCOPnet.com, a national leader among Savin dealers. They will service all makes and models. They will get to you same day or at worst case 10 a.m. the next day. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, Lafayette's Gulf Coast office products, GCOPnet.com. All right, Taylor Calandro next. Get your booze questions in, y'all.
AFR.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, let's get it. Wrapping up hour number 1, Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. Taylor's here to talk booze. How are you, dude?
I'm good, Matt. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well, man. Do things after the New Year in the spirits space quiet down a little bit?
Yeah, first month or so is generally everybody makes their resolution at the beginning of the year to not indulge in libations or whatever they want to do. But alcohol generally is on top of that list.
Yeah.
Everybody takes it. People start falling off the wagon 2 or 3 weeks in, but right now we're still in the thick of I'm going to treat my body with the best care I can possibly do it in 2023.
Oh man, idiots! Good, more for me and you, right?
Absolutely.
This is actually a good question because Scott McDonald said, said, does Calandro sell non-alcoholic wine and spirits? Because a lot of people do a dry January. So are there, what are the non-alcoholic or alternatives to spirits?
So spirits-wise, man, I have tried some non-alcoholic spirits, and they are horrid. They are absolutely horrid. There's really no other way to go around it. It's just
so good.
It's like flavored water. They try to flavor water like whiskey, and I guess it's fine if you don't drink, but if you want to taste like vanilla, artificial vanilla liquid, I don't even know what it is. I've tried 1 or 2, and they're terrible.
Well,
but as far as beer and wine, there's tons of that. Actually, the non-alcoholic beer category has really exploded in the past year. So there's lots of options in beer.
Yeah, I don't really see the point. I'm sorry.
Me either. I never have, but we sell them.
To each their own. Again, I'm not. Yeah. There's no judgment whatsoever. Do what you like. That's the whole point of the segment.
But like I said, in the last year, that segment of our industry has picked up a whole lot.
Okay.
Weird.
Rusty asked one. It said, "Hey Taylor, give me a vodka that's as good or better than Tito's at the same price point." So that's interesting because my understanding of vodka is it's always basically distilled to taste like nothing, right?
That's fair. Yeah, basically, that's the end goal for a really, really super premium vodka is for it to not taste like anything. Something that tastes like Tito's in a similar price range of Tito's, I would say Tito's.
Okay. So I mean, what? But Tito's is made in Austin.
It's an $18 bottle of
so
vodka.
Is there nothing else around that less than $20 that's any good?
Man, I mean, no. There's plenty of vodka out there. But Tito's is king. I mean, I'm trying to think of one I could even recommend. Let me come back to it because
that's okay.
Actually, JT Melick vodka is in the same price range, and that's local and it's good vodka.
Okay. Like, how did Tito's come to own that space? Because they're a relatively young company, right?
When Tito's first started popping off, I was in college, and I thought it was tequila for the longest time, just because of the way the bottle looks, because the orange top and the paper label, it still looks the same, and I thought it was tequila, and I just kept seeing it and seeing it. I'm like, God, this tequila is really popular. I never paid attention. I was drinking cheap beer, and now it's the number 1 selling spirit that we have by far. And honestly, I don't know how they got the market share.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if you can answer this, and maybe we'd have to give some context to it, but Craig said, ask Taylor, thoughts on Crescent Crown taking over Republic National's portfolio of Sazerac brand. Will it help, hurt, or stay the same of limited availability products? Do you want to give some context there?
Sure. Absolutely. Well, I found out about this last week, and it's not really going to affect anybody that's listening, maybe people in trade, but Crescent Crown got part of the Sazerac portfolio. None of the high-end stuff. All the high-end stuff is staying with the same distributor. But they are going to have like Buffalo Trace and Sazerac. It's not as far as it affecting anything, I don't know. We haven't really had a major discussion about how that's going to look. So as far as the distribution, I would expect the same amount of Buffalo Trace, which is very little, to come into the state still.
Okay. Chad Guidry, so what about Deep Eddy vodka? So that's similar to Tito's. You ever heard of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Deep Eddy is out of Texas, just like Tito's. And they make a bunch of flavored stuff too. That's one thing about Tito's. Tito's makes vodka. That is it. They make Tito's vodka. That is it. One thing, period.
Okay. John said, ask Taylor, curious about Yellowstone bourbon. Is it worth trying?
We have a Yellowstone, barrel pick right now, which I think is great. 93 proof. It's fairly low proof. It's young. But the rest of their stuff that I've had is absolutely fantastic. The special edition that I had 2 years ago from them was one of the best things I drank all year.
Give me the background on. We're under a minute. Background on Yellowstone. What's the story there?
So it's Limestone Branch Distillery. They were a lot older distillery, and then basically got reopened, like a lot of the ones now that are being reopened after being closed for so long. And now they have their own liquid now. They were sourcing it first. Now they have their own liquid. I think their oldest liquid's 4 or 5 years old. So. It's part of a bigger distillery, but they make a lot of different Yellowstone labels. There's lots of different ones, and they're all pretty good from what I've had from them. So,
Taylor Calandro from over at Calandro's. Appreciate it, man. We'll do it again next week. Happy New Year.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
We'll see you. Hour number 2. Where will Sean Payton land?
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Bills safety Damar Hamlin is still in critical condition, but the team announced today that he's showing signs of improvement. More reaction from around the league today as well. Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett.
Damar, he's an unbelievable person. Does so much for the community. A guy from Pittsburgh, stayed home. Could have went anywhere he wanted to. Stayed home, and we had a great run together, and he had an unbelievable career at Pitt. Captains together in 2020. Just an all-around, great person, great family.
Kenny Pickett. Hamlin will stay in a Cincinnati intensive care unit as his treatment continues. Bears quarterback Justin Fields is out of the season finale against the Vikings with a hip injury. Nathan Peterman will start. Fields will end his season 64 yards short of breaking Lamar Jackson's single-season quarterback rushing record. ESPN's Chris Lowe reports former Arkansas and Louisville head coach Bobby Petrino will be the new offensive coordinator under Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. LeBron James will miss tonight's Lakers game against the Heat because of a non-COVID-related illness. He's put up back-to-back 40-point games since his 38th birthday.
Coming up Thursday, will Aaron Rodgers, yes, that Aaron Rodgers, ever win another Super Bowl? We'll have the answer on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Thursday, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, sorry, I was tweeting something. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Taylor's our only guest today, so we're pretty wide open, man. If you want to join us, you can always email us, tweet us, jump in the Byford YouTube chat, or text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. An NFL mock draft is out. Jay Bramblett is returning to LSU. Demario Tolan has hit the portal. We'll get to all that here in about 15 minutes from right now. I had intended to talk about this on Tuesday, and we just flat ran out of time. It was the way the kind of show was jam-packed with the LSU post-game stuff and all. There was just a lot yesterday. It was our first day back from the holiday, and I just didn't have a spot in the show where I felt like I had enough space to really dive into this. But we did kind of discuss it with Sean Salisbury. So if you were not here yesterday, you can catch the After Further Review Saints YouTube channel for our conversation with Sean Salisbury, where we did dive into this a little bit about Sean Payton, his future, and where he's going to land. So maybe the biggest question this offseason in the NFL, as it pertains to coaches, is where will Sean Payton land? It is very rare, if not altogether unique, that a future Hall of Fame coach is essentially a free agent. In the NFL, there's only 32 of those jobs. And when you got them, you don't let them go because there's only 32 of them. And especially if you're in a good structural organization, you stay and you try to win as much as you can. There are places where you've had that pillar of stability and consistency. New England is obviously at the top of the chart. Pittsburgh has been that as well. New England with Belichick, but Pittsburgh's been that since Chuck Noll. The Saints were that with Sean Payton. The guy was here for 16 years. That just doesn't happen in the NFL. So, when coaches get these jobs and where the old adage is coaches are hired to be fired, it's just so rare that someone leaves a stable situation. But that's what Sean Payton did, and that's why there's so much conversation about where he's going to go next, because it's just like, it's so rare that you ever see a franchise quarterback ever hit the open market. When does this ever happen for coaches? So all of the NFL franchises that have or will have coaching vacancies are going to call Sean Payton. Carolina's going to call Sean Payton. Denver's going to call Sean Payton if they haven't already, and all the other jobs that may come open are going to at least make the phone call to see if Sean Payton would be interested, and then with the Saints, what it would take to get him. So there are, I think it's safe to say, at least 8 spots where Sean Payton could land. The ones we already mentioned, Carolina, which has an opening, although I think it's really hard. It's hard to imagine the Saints being willing to trade, air quotes, Sean Payton's rights within the division. And Steve Wilks has done a really good job there replacing Matt Rule. It feels likely that Steve Wilks gets that job, although there's been reports that Jim Harbaugh has interviewed for that job, or they've been in conversation with each other about that job. The Indianapolis Colts, that job is open. I don't think anybody is assuming here that Jeff Saturday is going to get that job on a permanent basis. And the Denver Broncos have already fired their coach, and so that job is open. Could Sean Payton potentially land in Denver? We all know that all the things that have been said. Sean Payton would rather be coastal. He would prefer to stay in L.A. He and his wife live there now. He's worked for Fox. He's been in L.A. The two obvious scenarios would be Rams or Chargers. Chargers seemed pretty obvious until they made the playoffs. Now, will they move on from Staley? I think it's unlikely, but considering it's in L.A., you've got a franchise quarterback there in Justin Herbert. That would be the ideal scenario for Payton. I don't think he's going to be able to pick his spot, though, if they keep Staley. I said a few weeks ago that I thought the Rams would be the spot. And a lot of people turn their eyes at that or their nose up at that, but remember, I think if there was one shocking coaching move that may come in this offseason, that would be the one, because Sean McVay flirted with the idea of leaving coaching last year. He has said he is not going to be a lifer. Amazon offered him a $100 million contract a year ago to join their Thursday Night Football broadcast. So if Sean McVay, after missing the playoffs this year and now married for a year, wants to get out of coaching, essentially like Sean Payton did, take a respite and get back in at some point, maybe this is the time, and maybe Payton steps in in L.A. with the Rams. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. And the Saints have gone on the record saying that they want a first-round pick for Sean Payton, which I think is fine. It's worth asking, and it's plausible. Of the 8 spots that Sean Payton could land, let's talk about probability here, Muse, and we'll just kind of bounce this off a little bit. We'll start with Houston, because Lovie Smith could be a one and done, and Sean Salisbury was here yesterday, and he works in Houston, and essentially said, look, if Sean Payton is available, they will move on from Lovie Smith. And the Texans have 2 number 1 picks. They will likely have the first overall pick, then another pick that'll come later in round 1 at let's see, their pick that they have. Do you know it offhand?
I think it's in the teens. I'm pretty sure it's in the teens.
Well, nothing's been decided as of yet,
projected,
but it's
in a way.
Wait, hang on. It's from, where is it? I can't find it. Anyway, but they've got 2 first-round picks.
Right now, it would be 12 from Cleveland.
Okay, there it is. Thank you. The Deshaun Watson pick, of course. Would you, if you're Houston, you would trade the 12th pick. You would give New Orleans a 12th pick for Sean Payton in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. I mean, potentially maybe even a 24 number 1 as well, if it takes 2 first rounders.
I don't think it's going to take 2.
You don't think so? Okay. All
right. And that's just, all the reports are that the Saints want a first-round pick. I know in 2002, when the Raiders and Bucks did the deal for John Gruden, it was 2 1s, 2 2s, and like $8 million cash. Mm-hmm. But that was a sitting head coach. And the way I understand this, again, I'm not telling you I know any of this. I'm just telling you what I've been told, is a lot of demand is created based on availability. So the longer Sean Payton would be out of coaching, the less time he has, the less leverage the Saints have. John Gruden back in the day was a sitting head coach of a team that went to the Super Bowl or was on the cusp of going to the Super Bowl. And that was his last game was the Tuck Rule game against Tom Brady. And then went to Tampa next year and won a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson in 2002. So if you're the Texans and you could draft Bryce Young number 1 overall, and you could give up the 12th pick for Sean Payton, and now you have coach quarterback, that makes a ton of sense. Does Sean Payton want to go to Houston? I have no idea. Does he want to be in the AFC? Don't know, but I wouldn't rule that out. The Commanders, would they move on from Ron Rivera? If you're Sean Payton, do you want to go work for Daniel Snyder?
Remember what Sean's always said about ownership and front office? That's the worst possible place for you to go right now, given if that's how important that is to him.
Unless if Snyder does, in fact, sell the organization, and then you want to see who the new owner is, right? Like that could be interesting, but I agree with you. In this offseason, that seems improbable. We mentioned the Panthers. I don't think Carolina is on the table because it's hard for me to imagine the Saints dealing Sean Payton within the division. And Carolina, as it's projected right now, they'd have the 9th overall pick, and there's no quarterback there. Yeah. And I believe Sean Payton would gladly welcome the challenge, but I don't think the Saints are going to move him within the division. Now, the other side of that is if you're the Saints, taking Carolina without a quarterback and taking their potential top 10 pick further weakens that organization. Maybe there's that to it.
Do you think they'd trade? You think they'd trade the 9th pick? You think they'd give that up, a top 10 pick
for Sean Payton? I would.
Okay, yeah, I would. I would too. I'm curious if
haven't we learned? Like I learned this lesson. Just sitting in this chair, once and for all, validated, never to be disputed in the Bounty Gate year.
Yeah,
I mean the 2011 Saints were the best team the Saints ever had. I know the 09 team won the Super Bowl, but the 11 team was the best offense in the history of the NFL. Like, they were the best team the Saints ever had. Mm-hmm. Sean Payton's gone. Everyone's still there. Everyone else is still there. And they go 7-9. I get the worst defense in the history of the NFL. I get it. Spagnuolo was awful. But you went from the best team in organization history to out of the playoffs. Coaching matters. So, yes, absolutely, I believe if you're Carolina, you would make that deal for Sean Payton. Broncos.
New ownership again, 1 year, fire a coach. They have the 29th pick, I believe, right now.
Right, because they're
from San Francisco.
Their first rounder went to Seattle in the Russell Wilson deal. So as it's projected right now, and this would be in Tankathon, it would be the 27th pick.
27th?
Via Miami and Miami vis-a-vis San Francisco. So 27 is where it would be. Now, if you're Denver, you do that deal in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
If you're the Saints, are you actually willing to part for the 27th pick? I think
because your real pick in the second round is not that far from that pick.
Right. And if you're the Saints, you package those two to move up in round 1, which
sounds like something they would do. Yes,
absolutely something they would do. I don't want to say no to Denver because Russell Wilson is there. It's a veteran quarterback. It's a stable organization. The roster is not bad, and I believe Sean Payton could go in there and win. But you're going in that division.
Tough division for sure.
With Mahomes, with Herbert. We'll see what happens with the Raiders. But I don't think Sean Payton shies away from there, but I just think that there's going to be better options on the table for New Orleans. That's really the question. Who makes the decision?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, New Orleans has to sign off on wherever they're going to send him. It's not just Sean Payton's deciding where he wants to go. He could decide and then have the two organizations, negotiate whatever that would cost. But I don't know that Denver will have the strongest offer. The Colts, I think, is a total non-starter. I don't know why Sean Payton would want that job in any way.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you on that. I mean, it's just they have more holes than they do solutions, right?
And if you're Indy, you're projected right now to have the 5th overall pick.
Which
you're going to take C.J. Stroud there.
Yeah.
You're going to take a quarterback for certain, but likely C.J. Stroud. Or Levis or whoever they covet. But are you really – I mean, you're choosing franchise quarterback, franchise coach in that situation.
That's what's so interesting, too, that, right, with Payton is like, would he want to be able to draft a franchise quarterback and start over from scratch with a brand new quarterback?
The Bucs, there's been a lot of talk about that. Reuniting Tom Brady and Sean Payton, which they tried to do reportedly tried to do last year in Miami. That's why it's interesting. Would they move on from Todd Bowles after 1 year? If you could get Sean Payton, you would. But then the question is, if you're New Orleans, do you Do you trade Sean Payton within the division? And there's one thing I'd say about that is if you were willing to let Sean Payton go to Tampa with Brady, you understand there's a very short shelf life there. That would feel a lot to me like the Shaq trade from the Lakers back in the day when the Lakers they chose Kobe and they sent Shaq to Miami. And Shaq got his title in Miami. But the long-term winner was the Lakers because they had Kobe for the long run that they did. The Lakers made the right decision. And it benefited both. I think if you're the Saints, you realize if Peyton went to Tampa, there would be a short-term benefit to Tampa, but I think the long-term winner in that situation, taking the assets away from Tampa, a quarterback that's not going to be there much longer, an aging roster, like Tampa's on the cusp of a rebuild. Almost like Denver when Peyton Manning went there. They went all in to win. Like the Saints went all in to win and just didn't win. You put any credence in Dallas?
Only because I think Jerry Jones is unpredictable, and it wouldn't surprise me if they fired Mike McCarthy. Do I think they should? No. I mean, I think he's actually done very well there.
Back-to-back 12-win season?
Yeah, but I mean, Jones is unpredictable, man, so a little bit, yeah.
And I think the most obvious one, and probably I don't know if like DraftKings or anybody has odds on this. I'm sure there's prop bet odds somewhere, but I would think Arizona has got to be the prohibitive.
Makes a lot of sense.
You've got the franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray. Arizona's got the 4th pick. Would Arizona part with the 4th pick for Sean Payton? The reason they might is because they've got the franchise quarterback. If they're committed to Kyler Murray, which you pair him with Sean Payton, I don't know why you wouldn't be, but
good weapons outside too.
All that stuff is there. Arizona, I think, is the one that everyone's going to circle and say that makes the most sense. And if you're the Saints and you're able to recoup a top 5 pick for Sean Payton, that's your best case scenario because now you get to draft your franchise quarterback. That's
for sure.
That's the scenario I'm kind of hoping for. I don't know. The Houston scenario is plausible because they have 2 first-round picks, and maybe they part with as it would be projected now, the 12th pick. And that's not a terrible situation for New Orleans to be in if you end up with a top half of round 1 pick. The dream scenario, if you're the Saints, is if you could somehow wrestle away a top 5 pick from Arizona and draft your franchise quarterback there. That would be, for me, I think, the ideal scenario for New Orleans. We'll see how it all plays out. Do you want to make a prediction? Okay, do you think he coaches?
Yes.
Okay. Grow a pair muse, make a pick.
Well, no, I mean, I think Arizona makes the most sense. So, that would be my pick right now.
No one's going to hold you to it because none of us know. We're all guessing.
But before the last couple of weeks, I would have told you the LA Chargers. But now Arizona just seems the most plausible for both parties to get what you want out of it for both. That's where it seems like it works. Houston too, but Arizona more so.
It would be. I just feel like
it's out west.
I really feel like there's just going to be a wild card scenario that we're not considering. And maybe not. Maybe it's all these things that we just talked about, and that's ultimately where the decision is going to come from or come down to. But some of this seems very obvious, and there's holes in all of them. It feels like it's right for someone just to swoop in at the last minute and wrestle it away.
If the Chargers fire Staley, they're back on the table.
Do you remember? It's the same. Oh, completely. It's the same scenario when Tom Brady went to Tampa. What was everybody talking about? Denver, San Fran. Denver, San Fran. Denver, San Fran. Oh, he went to Tampa. Like, with the right scenario, the right package, the right negotiation, someone could come in and swipe this thing away and surprise us all. I think the odds-on favorite would have to be Arizona, but they'd have to be willing to part with a very high draft pick. I'm not sure they will. Can someone put together a package that's more appealing to get their guy? We'll see. But if you're the Saints, this is a pivotal negotiation for New Orleans because I'll say it again, Sean Payton is your greatest asset right now. You don't have anything else of value that you can trade for an asset except for Sean Payton. So you've got to maximize this in the way, oddly, that the Pelicans did with Anthony Davis. I'm not saying you're going to get 100 picks from the Lakers over the next century, like the treasure trove that David Griffin did. But whatever you get has to be something that is going to help rebuild and stabilize your organization. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. Speaking of which, mock draft today came out from Jordan Reed over at ESPN.com. I want to go through it because there is some interesting stuff in there that I want to touch on. We'll get to that next on AFR.
AFR,
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. And by the way, we are now through the new year, and that means we are staring Mardi Gras in the face. You know how we live here. We're just one holiday to the next. And Mardi Gras, of course, means parades and floats and libations and good times and king cakes. And nobody does it better than Rouse's. And Rouse's is shipping king cakes anywhere in the country. So go to the website, rouses.com, rouses.com, rouses.com. You got that best friend from Louisiana who's living far away from home, or that friend or client in another part of the country, you want to give them a taste of Louisiana, go to rouses.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see the tab for the king cakes right there on the flipper. Click it. If it's the original, if it's the filled, if it's the black and gold, you can select it and you can ship it anywhere in the country. It's rouses.com. King cake time, y'all. Get it today at rouses.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
All right, let's say ah.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
LSU got good news, bad news. With the roster. You probably heard by now Demario Tolan has entered the transfer portal, as is reported by Matt Zenitz from On3. Nothing official from Demario Tolan yet. We're waiting on that. And we opened the show today with my thoughts on Demario Tolan. I'm floored by it. I mean, the coaching staff loved the guy. He had become a legitimate part of that rotation as this season had gone along. And with guys like Colby Fields, Desmond Little entering the portal, with Baskerville and Mike Jones going pro, you were so thin at that position that Demario Tolan was going to play a huge role in this defense next year. So him entering the portal is very surprising. I gave my full thoughts on it to open the show. You can catch that on demand at 1045ESPN.com or the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. You just go back to the beginning of the show today. That's how we opened. Of course, our on-demand audio and video is always brought to you by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org with 6 great courses around the greater Baton Rouge area, golf.breck.org. So Demario Tolan leaving. The good news is Jay Bramblett is returning for another year. And in a pretty miserable year for special teams at LSU, Jay Bramblett was a pillar of consistency. He posted on his social media earlier today, "This year was the most fun I've ever had playing the game. I'm excited to see the future of LSU football. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to come here, and I'm not ready for it to be over. So, see y'all back in Baton Rouge for 2023. Of course, Bramblett, a guy from, oddly enough, Tuscaloosa, who went to Notre Dame, was there with Brian Kelly for the first 3 years of his career, transferred with Brian Kelly from Notre Dame to Baton Rouge, and Brian Kelly, of course, got the job, and now will take advantage of the COVID year and play another season for the Tigers. Look, Jay Bramblett was awesome, y'all. He had career highs in yards per punt at 44.5. He pinned opponents inside the 20, 36.7% of the time. That was a career high for Jay Bramblett. When we look back to the Alabama game, do you remember the entire first half of the Alabama game? I mean, Bama consistently started inside their own 20 every drive, and that was a lot had to do with Jay Bramblett's efficiency punting the football. So LSU was atrocious on special teams this year. It was the worst I've ever seen. And the one thing that was consistently good all year was Jay Bramblett. So it's great to have him back. It's great to have Damian Ramos back, who had a very nice season. Remember, Slade Roy returns. He transferred in last year from East Carolina as your long snapper. He's got 2 years of eligibility left. So you're returning a lot of your core components. And it's also worth noting, y'all, Jay Bramblett is your holder. And that sometimes goes overlooked, but it matters significantly. So that timing with Roy, Bramblett, Ramos, that battery returns next year. So all good things. And it buys you another year to allow a guy like Peyton Todd to develop more, to allow a Nathan Dybert to develop more, and maybe continue to handle kickoff duties, get a year stronger, a year more mature, work on his craft a bit more. I get asked often, I know we were asked yesterday if Polian would return. I think this has been my consistent answer whenever we've been asked about it, which is, yeah, I mean, he was the first guy that Brian Kelly hired. He respects him. He values him as a member of his staff. And you would hope that this year and the special teams gaff were a one-off. I don't know that they are. And I think there's a chance we could be sitting here next year and looking in hindsight and saying Brian Kelly's decision to bring Polian back for another year was a massive mistake. But we'll know that in time. And but the good news is a lot of the talented specialists you had this year, all of your talented specialists are going to return. Now, the functionality of your special teams units, can that improve? And that's what clearly you have to see. All right, we're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Another year, embarking on year 76 for Michelli Weighing and Measurement since they opened their doors since 1947. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Go to the website, hit the services tab. You can always request a quote there. They're an ISO 17025 accredited laboratory for all the different industries, whatever it may be. If it's calibration, if it's weighing systems, installation, equipment repair, they can come on site and calibrate for you. You can ship your equipment to them. They have mobile calibration labs. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Learn more about all they do at Michelli.com. And if you're looking for a new career here in 2023, Michelli is hiring. Go to the website, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, Jordan Reed at ESPN.com has his first mock draft out. And we did talk in the last segment a little bit about where Sean Payton might land. So this is kind of interesting because Yeah, depending on where Peyton goes, if the Saints do in fact recoup a first-round pick for him, it would be relevant because the Saints would then jump in this. Remember, 31 picks in round one. Miami forfeited their first-round pick this year because of the Brian Flores situation. So only 31 picks in round one. He's got Bryce Young going number 1 to Houston, Jalen Carter going number 2 to Chicago. Of course, they've got Justin Fields, so they've got their quarterback. Will Anderson going number 3 to Seattle. Interesting to Seattle not going quarterback there. Of course, they acquired Drew Lock as part of the trade for Russell Wilson. Geno Smith has played well there. Are they content going with Geno? That's interesting to see if Seattle would go Will Anderson, best player available, or if they would go quarterback. Arizona Cardinals at 4. They have taken Tyree Wilson, the defensive end from Texas Tech. Of course, they've got Kyler Murray, so why go quarterback there? And then with the Colts picking at 5, that's where you see C.J. Stroud come off the board to Indianapolis. Brian Bresee from Clemson, they went 6 to Detroit. Will Levis, for me, sometimes you got to put on the tape and say, that don't look right. Will Levis at 7 overall is really surprising to me. The Raiders are clearly moving on from Derek Carr, and they need a quarterback, and if they deem Levis the best available, maybe they'll take him there at 7 or wherever they pick. But Levis at 7. Miles Murphy from Clemson, the defensive end, 8 to Atlanta. Anthony Richardson, 9 to Carolina. I would even look at Richardson and Levis and say I'd take Richardson over Levis because I see the upside. I see the physical potential and upside. And then Peter Skoronski, the offensive tackle from Northwestern, going to the Titans at 10. Other picks of note here. So 4 quarterbacks in the top 9. For perspective, to show sometimes when you are a quarterback-needy team, how the draft, the year matters so much. The 4th quarterback taken in last year's draft, keep in mind, so they're projecting Anthony Richardson to go 9th overall, the 4th quarterback in the top 9 picks. The 4th quarterback taken in last year's draft was Matt Corral, the 94th pick in the draft, round 3. So how quarterback heavy is that draft? I mean, the first quarterback taken a year ago was Kenny Pickett, 20 overall at Pittsburgh. 13 SEC players in all. The one of great import to us here locally would be B.J. Ojulari, 30th overall to the Kansas City Chiefs. I would be absolutely thrilled to see B.J. Ojulari, as great a college player as he was, and said it when he declared, a guy who could have gone anywhere, who committed to the team after winning the national championship, went through that dreadful COVID year, could have left, didn't, came back, stayed through all of the dysfunction of a year ago, bought in with Brian Kelly, and decided to stick around and try to get this thing going in the right direction. Wins the SEC West championship, gets to go play in Atlanta, in his home state for the SEC championship, and ultimately, if he doesn't, wears the number 18 jersey. If B.J. Ojulari does, in fact, go in the first round, that would just, I would applaud that mightily. And Jordan Reed has B.J. Ojulari going 30th overall in round 1 to the Kansas City Chiefs. So a guy who fits the modern day of football, the modern NFL, a stand-up outside linebacker. Boy, that would be fantastic to see if B.J. could elbow his way into round 1 in the right spot. And Kansas City certainly has shown they love LSU guys, and that may be the next of them. So we'll keep an eye, and we wish all those guys good luck as they head toward the Combine and all their Senior Bowl, Combine, and draft opportunities. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Quick break. We'll do overrated, underrated. We usually have Tigers and the pros. A big hour 3 coming up as well. Zion's out for 3 weeks. We got to get to that. Some updated rankings after the bowl season as well. A lot of your calls, texts, emails, tweets as well. Feel free to get them in. If you're watching on YouTube, as always, please smash that like button, and we appreciate all of you watching on WBTR Channel 19 in Baton Rouge, Rev Channel 144, and 36.1 if you are on the antenna. We appreciate our friends at WBRZ for making that option available to our audience. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll continue next.
AFR.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Cornell Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Cornell Toyota family to yours.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
All right, let's say ah.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I got a question via text. Remember, you can always text us in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Jordan Haddad said, Matt, could Nick Saban go after Kayshon Boutte, or would he have to be in the portal? Yes, he would have to be in the portal. So Kayshon has declared for the – well, let me rephrase this. No, Kayshon Boutte cannot go to Alabama because he's already signed with Drew Rosenhaus. He's already signed with an agent, so it's over. You could declare for the draft, not sign with an agent, and ultimately decide to return to school. The deadline for players to make their draft decision is January 16th. So today is the 4th, so 12 days. Players have 12 more days to officially declare for the draft if they're going to leave early. So players that have made a draft decision, if they have not yet signed with an agent, could still return to school. But because Kayshawn has signed with an agent, he is done. His college career is officially over. So no, Kayshawn Boutte could not go play for Alabama or anyone. In signing with an agent, he is officially done with his college career. But those are some of the dates to keep an eye on. January 16th is the deadline to declare for the draft, for early entry into the draft, and a few days after that is when this portal window closes. Remember, players only have until the end of this window to enter the portal. They can choose their destination at any point, not just during the portal window, but they have to enter the portal during the designated and allocated windows. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Muse is going to have Tigers and the Pros coming up a little bit later here this hour as well. And it is a special anniversary in the history of LSU athletics, which we'll get to a little bit of that coming up in about 20 minutes as we start hour number 3. Right now, though, let's do a little overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
All right,
Matt.
Fire away, Muse.
Overrated or underrated?
Yep. Fire. Yep.
NBA Jam.
Oh, underrated.
No explanation as to why you love NBA Jam so much?
It's not just that I love NBA Jam. I think NBA Jam, there are very few video games, considering the context here, right? There are bajillions of video games, fair?
Yeah.
In the history that have been made. How many have, over the course of 30 years, maintained their longevity and their cultural place in history outside of just playing a video game? He's heating up, he's on fire. Like, people still wear the shirts. People have their memes. Like, the NBA Jam, as a cultural phenomenon, has lived on and exceeded just its quality as a video game. So, yes, for many reasons, NBA Jam is still underrated because of its cultural impact.
Overrated or underrated? Pigs in a blanket.
You know, I'm going to say a pig in a blanket is overrated. It's just a biscuit and a wiener. That's
so
all
good.
it is.
I love it.
I'm not saying it's bad. I like them. I like them a lot. And honestly, they're a go-to because they're safe. You know what you're getting with a pigs in a blanket every time, don't you?
Yeah.
But if I'm at a place and there's all these different appetizers or maybe heavy hors d'oeuvres, chances are most of the food on the table is better than the pigs in the blanket. But the pigs in the blanket is finger food. It's easy, right? Just grab it, pop it, and it's consistent. You know what you're getting. And so for that, you might say it's underrated. But no, that I think is more of a reflection of the consumer than the product. The product itself is overrated.
Overrated or underrated? Eminem.
Oh, the rapper?
Yeah.
I'm waffling here between properly rated and underrated. He's most definitely not overrated. I think Eminem is...
I stumped you.
No,
Look at
let
this.
me ask you a question. Actually, let me ask Paul. Because Paul's our... You didn't stump me, but there's a... I want to give him his proper respect. Paul, you're our noted rap expert over here. Where does Eminem rank all-time history of rappers?
In my opinion, or just like in general?
Well, whether you like him or not, understand there is an objective reality around the success he's had.
Right. I think top 10 for sure, easily.
He's properly rated. I mean, it's not even deniable that he's top 10 all time. The conversation becomes, where does he fit in the top 5 all time?
Agreed.
So when that's sort of the consensus around him, whether you like his music or not, that's just an undeniable reality of Eminem. So I think he's properly rated as a top 10, potentially top 5 all-time rapper. Like, let me think of a football equivalent, a football player equivalent to Eminem. I would say Eminem is like Walter Payton. He will be on everybody's top 10 list. And when you're having the conversation about, everyone starts with Brady, right?
Yeah.
What's Brady? Montana's probably in there as well. Well, then where do you go? Peyton Manning? Do you go Dan Marino? Do you go with the quarterbacks? Do you go into Reggie White or LT, best defensive player ever? Is Jerry Rice in there? Of course, Walter Payton when you're having the best running back. So, like, he's Walter Payton. He is undeniably going to be in everybody's top 10 list. It's just a matter now of where do you rank him in that top 10, and does he bump into it like a consensus top 5? So I think Eminem's properly rated.
Overrated or underrated All-Star games?
Underrated. Everybody craps on All-Star games, but people still watch. And they're sponsored, and they're televised, and the players play. I get the Pro Bowl's going away, but the NBA All-Star game in New Orleans a few years ago, went to that. Hell of a lot of fun. The show put on around it, it is a theatrical performance all the way around. I mean, the band The Roots, on Fallon's band, The Roots basically did the whole intro for the All-Star game the year it was in New Orleans, and the introduction of the starting players was, it was a Broadway performance, how they did it. It was like a history of music coinciding through the eras and decades as they introduced it. Was insane. It was like incredibly underrated. People just crap on it because they don't play defense in any of those games. Don't matter. Underrated.
That's overrated or underrated?
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. Call Dr. Blake Williamson. You know what? I've been sitting here screaming this from the top of my lungs now for almost 5 years. Williamson Eye Center changed my life. To be able to wake up in the morning and just see, it is literally a life-changing reality for me. And it can be for you as well. Let your New Year's resolution be, you know what, I'm going to stop talking about this. I'm going to stop listening to Matt talk about LASIK or the lens replacement or all the different refractive issues. Let your New Year's resolution be that you're going to pick up the phone and make that call and do it right now. Call 924-2020. 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. There's just nobody better than Dr. Blake Williamson. The guy goes all over the world presenting at conferences because he's on the forefront of every technological advancement in ophthalmology. And he's right here in Louisiana. Call 924-2020. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. Okay, Muse is going to have Tigers in the pros to wrap up hour number 2. We'll circle back to the Saints injury report. If you're just joining and haven't heard, Paulson Adebo told reporters say he will not play against Carolina on Sunday. So it looks like we'll see Marshall Lattimore, Alante Taylor starting against Carolina on the outside for the Week 18 game in the Dome on Sunday at noon, which will wrap up Dennis Allen's maiden voyage here as the Saints head coach, or the Saints skipper. Maiden voyage, skipper, get it? But we'll get back into we'll reset the injury report coming up a bit later. Glad you're with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Bluckers. Stick around.
AFR.
New year. Weather's nice outside right now, surprisingly, for January. But boy, is it a great time right now to go plant something at Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of the 4 locations. You know where they are. Same locations as they were in 2022 and will be for 60 more years. Siegen Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. Christmas is past, but while Christmas decor lasts, you can still buy it deeply discounted. I've told you this before. It's worth getting into Clegg's. Buy your Christmas decor. Just put it up in the attic and store it for next year. Buy it at a deep discount right now and display it next year. It's at Clegg's Nursery. But listen, if you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas, go buy it for yourself. Bird feeders, hummingbird feeders, citrus trees, wind chimes. They got it all at Clegg's Nursery. Great time to plant and accent that winter landscape, and Clegg's has the best selection. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them I sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Cornwall Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2 on a hump day edition of AFR. Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
According to the NFL's personnel notice, the Pittsburgh Steelers today worked out tight end Thaddeus Moss.
Hey.
Moss, of course, former LSU Tiger, also the son of Hall of Fame receiver Randy Moss, went undrafted in 2020, signing with the Washington Commanders.
Close. I catch a beat running like Randy Moss.
Would spend time with both the Commanders and the
Outcast.
Cincinnati Bengals in 2 seasons, but has yet to play in a regular season game.
It's called The Whole World by Outcast.
The NBA G League action last night. The Birmingham Squadron, of course, G League affiliate of your New Orleans Pelicans. Javonte Smart, 33 minutes in a starting role, dropped 20 in the game, 2 assists and a rebound. A steal rounded out his night. 5 of 12 from 3 last night for Javonte.
The flat-footed jumper plays in the G League.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Pelicans continue to just get injuries, and you might see Javonte up in the big show.
No,
you never know. Hey, you never know. Watch out. Who knows? Could happen.
I don't think
That
so.
could happen.
They're a little too deep for that.
That's so good, too. Best depth ever. Did I do that one twice? Wait a minute.
Javonte?
No. There we go. My mistake. Here we go. Darius Days in a starting role last night for the Rio Grande Valley Vipers.
Okay.
21-11.
Wow.
Solid, man. 3 assists and a steal, 2 blocks for Days as well. 39 minutes. Shot 32% from the floor, 8 of 25. 5 fouls for Darius Days, but a double-double nonetheless. Skylar Mays last night for the Delaware Bluecoats off the bench. 18 minutes for Skyler. 8 points, 5 rebounds on his night. And stayed out of foul trouble as well. Shot 2 of 7 from the floor. Finally, the Century Tournament of Champions gets underway tomorrow on the PGA Tour. Sam Burns in the field as a result of his victory last year on tour. Goes off at 2:15 Central Standard Time, paired with American Cameron Young. That's Tigers and the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, Christmas is past, but you can always thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, a corporate in Bocage, and in the Mall of Louisiana, but 9 locations in all, from New Orleans and Lafayette and Shreveport, even outside of the state. Learn more at LMFJ.com, where you always get the Lee Michaels experience. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. But one more golf note, by the way, Muse. Did you see our guy Smiley?
Oh, a buddy of mine texted me this right before we came in here, actually.
NBC Sports has officially announced that Brad Faxon and Smiley Kaufman have joined its broadcast team.
I love that.
So Faxon will be a hole announcer and do studio work, and Kaufman will be an on-course reporter. Smiley's phenomenal in that role, by the way. And he has such a great relationship with so many of the guys on tour that they are very good with him in that role as well. So congrats to our guy, Smiley Kaufman. Fired up for him. Okay, hour number 3, a memorable day in LSU history.
AFR.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is SportsCenter.
News from Major League Baseball. ESPN's Jeff Passan reporting that the Red Sox are finalizing an 11-year, $331 million contract with third baseman Rafael Devers, that deal pending a physical. The Buffalo Bills announced today that safety Damar Hamlin is showing signs of improvement, but is still in critical condition in the intensive care unit. Reactions still pouring in from around the league. Giants coach Brian Daboll.
I feel for Damar, most importantly, his family, but all the players and coaches that are around him every day. He's a tremendous young man, and just pray for recovery. That was tough.
Brian Daboll. Hamlin went into cardiac arrest on Monday night against the Bengals. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson will be a healthy scratch for Sunday's game against the Dolphins, but head coach Robert Saleh says the team isn't giving up on Wilson, and they hope to do everything they can to maximize his potential.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier to help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Template. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Well, it's Wednesday, Mike.
Hump day.
Wednesday, January the 4th.
It's hump day.
An historic day in the history of not only LSU football, but sports in our great state.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Getting to that in a moment.
Hump day.
Demario Tolan.
It's hump day.
Here you go.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Wonder to pay them off.
Hump day.
Jay Bramblett's coming back.
It's hump day.
Zion Williamson.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Here you go.
Hump day.
For 3 weeks.
It's hump day.
Tigers lose at Kentucky.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
But a moral victory, Muse.
Hump day.
Muse?
Moral victories stink.
Oh, no, not when you stink. When you stink, you embrace moral victories.
Nope.
Because it's a sign of good things to come.
It's hump day.
Moral victories are all about expectation.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You play to win the game.
Yes, of course you play to win the game, but sometimes when the result doesn't go your way, you can still glean positives from the
Sure, but you still lost.
That is the moral victory. Yes, that's the definition of a moral victory. It's taking a positive from a loss. It's a moral victory. You didn't win the game, but there's a reason to be optimistic.
It's hump day.
Pluckers trivia coming up in a little bit.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Honor locks coming up. Let's get rich.
Hump day.
All right, thanks for being here. It's after further review. Hey, Muse, I would like to put up a poll question, if we could.
Of course we can.
All right, this will be the Citizens Bank and Trust poll question of the day on Twitter, at 1045 ESPN. Which is your favorite LSU national title? 1958, 2003, 2007, or 2019? And I know how this is going to go. Because all you whippersnappers and your Twitter machine have no respect and appreciation for the past. So you're all going to say 2019. That's okay. Because 2019 was magical. And only a season like that could even make me ever entertain the notion of something surpassing how special 2003 was. But it was 19 years ago today in the Superdome, January 4th, 2004, in the Sugar Bowl, when LSU beat Oklahoma 21-14 and won its first national title in 45 years. Mr. Hawthorne, do the honors.
And Oklahoma loads up at the line of scrimmage, and Donnie Jones is going to punt it. And there's nobody back there.
Game's over.
And it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Tigers are the national champion! LSU beats Oklahoma 21-14. Holy cow, what a game!
Literal goosebumps on my arms. 19 years later, listening to that, thinking about where I was, sitting about the 40-yard line with my dad and my brother in the what they called it then, but it's the club level, the second level. And watching LSU do something that I never in my lifetime thought I would see happen. And the success of that team has made the success of the subsequent teams feel more commonplace and routine. But I don't mean to, I do mean to wax poetic, and damn it, I'm not going to apologize for it, because I love 2003 LSU football. It's the most fun season I've ever had in the history of my life watching any sport. And I will say that until the end of my life. There can never be anything to surpass this for me, only equal it. Because I never in my life thought I would see LSU win a national championship. You know, for someone my age, and I'm 40, was born in 1982. So I was born 24 years after Billy Cannon's run, which obviously wasn't even the national championship year. That was 1959. But the 1958 season, I was born 24 years after that season. So growing up, all I knew was the black and white video of Billy Cannon's run that they played on Halloween, and we always saw it on the news every year during Halloween, and Billy Cannon's Heisman Trophy, and a lot of bad football in my childhood. I mean, my first recollections are the end of Archer and the 6 straight losing seasons. Hallman, and then DiNardo coming in and the bring back the magic, and feeling like the Independence Bowl was the top of the mountain in 1995. Going to a bowl that was a fruit when you went to the Peach Bowl in 96 and beat Clemson 10-7 was euphoric. There was no concept of a national championship. Nobody thought about a national championship. Nobody even envisioned that as a real possibility until Nick Saban came here and made us all think about it. And I remember, and some of you might remember this, but for me it's extra special because I was in school. I was a senior at LSU in 2003. So that was my last season as a student at LSU, and I went to every game, home and away. And it was a glorious fall where I got to watch that march to a championship in person every game, from Tucson, Arizona, and Columbia, South Carolina, and every other point where they went. And I remember two things, well, a lot of things, but two things I want to point out. In 2002, actually, Lee Corso projected LSU in Texas to play for the national championship before the season, when they do all their preseason prognostications. Corso in 2002 picked LSU in Texas to play for the national championship. Now, they did play, but they played in the Cotton Bowl that year. Of course, Texas beat LSU, and LSU lost 5 games. He was just a year too early. He saw what was building there. And, man, I'll never forget also when I felt like that team was going to win the national championship, because nobody was going to beat them. And it was when they went to Oxford and beat Ole Miss. Because that Ole Miss offense with Eli that year was sensational. And that LSU defense throttled them. I mean, Ole Miss scored their first touchdown on a pick 6 in the first play of the game. So the Ole Miss offense did relatively nothing in that ball game against that great LSU defense. And by the time that season had gotten to the end, there was just nobody that was going to score. And what might be forgotten in time is the fact that that Oklahoma offense was magnificent. That Oklahoma team scored 77 points in College Station against Texas A&M. They scored 77. And that was before A&M stunk. That was Wrecking Crew A&M. That was R.C. Slocum when they couldn't score much, but they had great defenses. That Oklahoma team was talked about like they were the greatest team in the history of college football. Like, that's how that team was discussed. And then they lost to Kansas State 35-0 in the Big 12 championship game. And then LSU beat them in the national championship game, of course, in New Orleans. And being in the Superdome that day, and what a week it was, just leading up. You know, around New Year's, me and some friends went and stayed in New Orleans for that week and went out and partied every night and just absolutely bathed in everything surrounding that football game. You know, from Justin Vincent's long run to begin the game, and of course they wouldn't score on that possession after Derek Strait ran him down, to the touchdown he got with the 2-1s in the air, to the jet sweep with the end around from Skylar Green to score the first touchdown of the game. Marcus Spears' interception return when LSU went up 21-7 in that ball game. I had a cigar in my pocket, and I was going to smoke it when LSU won. And sure enough, LSU won the game. But when Marcus Spears had the pick 6 in that ball game, I sitting right there with my dad and my brother, and I pulled out that cigar and started waving it around, because you just knew that team wasn't giving up a 2-touchdown lead. That defense was not giving up a 2-touchdown lead. Sure enough, they didn't. And they didn't score again. LSU's offense didn't score in the second half, but it didn't matter, because LSU still won the game 21-14 and won its first national title in 45 years. I understand how magnificent, it is not lost on me, how magnificent 2019 was. That is the greatest college football team and greatest college football season ever in the history of the sport. That is the greatest season, the greatest team. All of those things are very real and very true. But for me, nothing will ever surpass 2003. It can only be equaled because it was your first. The Saints could go on and win 10 more Super Bowls. They will never mean as much as watching that team beat the Colts in Miami in February of 2010, because it was something we never thought we would ever see, and they broke through and did it, and everything associated with that will always mean more. And that's what 2003 is to me. I'm not old enough to know 1958. And for people who were around then, maybe that's the thing that will always stand out, was watching Billy Cannon play. All I know is it took 45 years for LSU to break through, something I never thought I would see in my life. And all the success they've had subsequent, where our expectation is you got to play for and win national championships. That's the expectation. That was all set in motion because of 2003. It's why I still love Nick Saban. A lot of people here don't like me saying that. I love Nick Saban. I hate that he's winning championships at Alabama. I hate that we have to sit here and watch him win. But Nick Saban gave to all of us the thing that we enjoy now because of when he came here, changed the culture, and won the 03 championship, which laid the foundation for everything that has been built upon it subsequent in the past 20 years, or 19 seasons now. 2003 LSU, it will always be the greatest in my mind. And I'm not saying that was the greatest team. Okay, I readily understand 2019 would kick the crap out of everybody. But that season, to watch LSU do it, the Trailblazers, the Groundbreakers, the 03 champions, man, nothing like it. When I think about it, when I hear it, when I look at pictures of it, watch videos of it, man, what a night that was, 19 years ago today in the Superdome. If you were too young to remember it, it's all good, man. Make your own memories. Just like for many of you who don't remember, it's odd to say that there are people, probably there are people. Look, if you're a freshman at LSU, you were not alive when that team won the championship. You have no concept of that team. But that team was special, man, and it was so fun to watch that season play out and to watch something happen that we never thought we'd see. So, to the Groundbreakers, to the OGs, the 03 national champions, salute on this day 19 years ago. And I tell you what, man, I haven't been in Tiger Stadium for a game since 2017 because pregame and then postgame responsibilities, all that sort of stuff. It just hasn't allowed me to go into the stadium for a game because we're doing postgame as soon as the game ends with whiskey and wine, and pregame was leading right up to it. It just didn't make sense logistically for me to get over there. Next year, when they have the 20-year reunion for that 03 team, I'm taking the day off. Muse, you can do whiskey and wine with T-Bob. I'm going to that game. If for no other reason, just to watch those. I don't care how big and old and fat they all are and out of shape. It don't matter because that's my team. And I will be there for that. All right. 03 national champs, 19 years ago today. All right. It's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll update the Saints injury report for those that missed it earlier. We'll reset that. And Zion going to be out 3 weeks. What does that mean for the Pels? We're touching on it next here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Y'all got to follow Gordon on social, man. Go to Get Gordon on Twitter or Instagram. I do not know what this is going to be, but there are billboards up right now that say New Year, New G, as they affectionately refer to Gordon as G. And it's just a silhouette of Gordon. So I don't know what that is going to be, but I will certainly be waiting with great anticipation. There is no better marketer in this community, or maybe in the world, than Gordon McKernan. It's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. GetGordon.com. Go to GetGordon.com. If you've been injured in an accident, if it's not your fault, do what people and injured people in Louisiana have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done with Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. By the way, the jingle that Paul knows by heart, they have a contest going on where you can win $2,500 for dancing to the jingle. Follow Gordon on social to get all the info. GetGordon.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, remember, Plucker's Trivia tonight, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Get your team together. Go win some great Pluckers gift cards, Amazon gift cards, other stuff from local businesses. Spin the prize wheel. Everyone is a winner at Pluckers Trivia. Every team gets to spin the prize wheel to win something, whether you win a round or not. Pluckers Trivia going down tonight. Pels are at the miserable Rockets tonight. Here's Willie Green.
We don't take anybody for granted. Houston, they beat some good teams. They're a good young team in the sense that they come out and play with energy. And if you give them confidence and they get going, you know, you're in for a ball game. So our mindset is the same. Prepare, make sure we're ready, make sure we play our style, and go out and execute.
The Rockets are 10-27. They're only 4-15 away from home. Meanwhile, the Pelicans have been incredible on their home floor this year. Smoothie King Center has become a true home court advantage for the New Orleans Pelicans. Pels are 16-4 on their home floor this year. So you got a 7 o'clock tip tonight. Pelicans are a 7.5-point favorite. And that's without Zion Williamson. If you missed the news, Zion, who left the game Monday night against the 76ers with 24 seconds to go in the third quarter, has a hamstring strain, and the Pels are shutting him down for 3 weeks. They said he will be reevaluated in 3 weeks. So if you look ahead to the schedule for the Pellies, you're probably looking at 10 games. If you just do the math and fast forward ahead 3 weeks from now, today's the 4th, so you'd be looking at that last week in January. The Pels play Tuesday, January the 24th in Denver, so that would be 3 weeks beyond from the injury. So the likely minimum of 10 games that Zion would miss would be tonight against Houston, Friday against Brooklyn, and then they play 5-game road swing at Dallas, at Washington, at Boston, at Detroit, at Cleveland. You're home against Miami. Then you're at Orlando, at Miami. That's the 10-game swing. It's 7 road games and 3 home games over the next 3 weeks. And you play the 7 road games. It's 7 of 8 on the road. So 5 on the road, home against Cleveland. 5 on the road, home against Miami, then at Orlando, at Miami. So that is a brutal stretch. And you're going to try to do it without your best player. And maybe at some point during that stretch, you might get Brandon Ingram back. By the way, here's what Willie Green said. He didn't say much, but at the Tuesday shoot-around, he was asked about Brandon Ingram, who's still out with that toe contusion.
He's getting on the floor doing more, but not a full practice yet, but he's building up.
Building up. So not much there. the thing that is I'll say this, which is it's coincided with a lot of conversations around the Pels this year because they have dealt with injuries. Brandon Ingram has been out since late November. Herb, of course, has been injured, and this is now the third time this year that Zion's missed time. Let's see. Zion's missed 8 games on the season. And by the way, if there's a silver lining here, they're 6-2 without him, which speaks to the depth of this team. And that's one of the things that's been its great asset is this is one of the deepest teams in the NBA, arguably the deepest team in the NBA. The question people have about their potential postseason success is, and Antonio Daniels talked about this with us when he was here before Christmas. When you get to the postseason, you're going to pare your roster down to about 8 guys. You'll have an 8-man rotation. So how do your best 8 fare against the other team's best 8 in a best-of-7 series, and can you win 4 best-of-7s? That's a very different ask than an 82-game schedule where you keep tapping into your bench where you're very deep. So it's a different conversation, but they are 6-2 without Zion, which allows them to keep their head above, more than keep their head above water, be one of the best teams in the West and the entire NBA like they have. But Zion missed 2 games in October. Remember, he had the hard fall, kind of fell on his back, his hip. He missed 2 games with that. In November, he missed 3 games with the foot injury, and then he went into the health and safety protocols around Christmas and missed 3 games there. So he's missed 8 games on the season. They're 6-2 without him. He'll likely miss at least 10 games here over these next 3 weeks. And when you look at the schedule like we just spelled out for you, 7 of the 10 games are on the road, but you're talking about some manageable games. You're home against Houston and Brooklyn. You should win tonight, obviously, against Houston, Zion or no. Brooklyn, it is at home, but that's a big ask because Brooklyn's been one of the best teams in the NBA here of late. At Dallas, it's always tough to go on the road and play Dallas and Luka. You're at Washington, which is winnable. At Boston is going to be a very difficult game. At Detroit is winnable. At Cleveland is winnable. Home against Miami, you should take. At Orlando, at Miami. You got to lie. It's not like you're going through a meaty part of your schedule without Zion. And you might, we'll see, get BI back at some point in the next 3 weeks, which would only further bolster you. So, I think if you're looking at it realistically, can you go 6-4, optimistically 7-3 through this 10-game schedule so you don't lose ground as far as you're standing above 500 right now. They're 23-14. Ideally, get to 6-4. Make sure you go above 500 in this 10-game stretch without Zion. Maybe 7-3, which would be ideal. But Pels get an opportunity tonight, get a swing at one of the worst teams in the NBA with the Rockets coming in at 7 o'clock, and they'll have to do it without Zion, without BI as well. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices. You know where to find them. It's at ShawBillsTire.com. The Shaw Bills that I often go to is the one on Burbank in Baton Rouge. Find the Shaw Bills nearest you, including the newest location, which is in Denham Springs. Shout out LP. Stand up. You got your own Shaw Bills right now. If you need to buy tires, nobody's going to sell you the best tires on the road cheaper than Shaw Bills. Remember that. You can go to the website, hit the promotions tab right there at the top, and you can see all the current offers that they have at ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices. No one is going to sell you the best tires on the road at cheaper prices, and they treat you like family. It's the way they've done it for more than 50 years. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. All right, real quick, let me circle back through this Saints injury report for those just knocking off work, kind of resetting some of the big stories of the day. Demario Tolan, linebacker for LSU, the freshman linebacker, he jumped into the transfer portal today, which is very disappointing and quite surprising. Played in 12 games this year. Brian Kelly raved about him. As a matter of fact, can you play the Brian Kelly audio again? This is Brian Kelly on his coach's show before the Arkansas game talking about Demario Tolan.
Demario Tolan, don't forget that name. You're going to have a combination of Tolan and Perkins that I couldn't be more excited about. Demario Tolan is coming into his own. He's a true freshman. Demario had back surgery in the summer. which put him back quite a bit. No pun intended there. Certainly, he is a young man that has a bright future. He's doing some really good things. He has the instincts of a Micah Baskerville as a true freshman. And I mean that in terms of pass coverage, understanding how to attack the line of scrimmage, and he's got incredible athletic ability. His future is very, very bright. We're very blessed there to have those two linebackers.
A month ago, the head coach gushed about him. He saw his role increase as the season went along. And with Colby Fields, Desmond Little in the portal, Micah Baskerville, Mike Jones going pro, the path to the field was there in a giant way for Demario Tolan in 2023. Why he's in the portal is a giant question. I'll be curious to see if and when we get that explanation from Demario Tolan. Jay Bramblett, the punter, announced he is going to return. He'll take advantage of his COVID year, so he will return. Those are sort of the big stories today. As far as the Saints injury report, the most notable thing here is Paulson Adebo. Paulson Adebo did not practice with a hamstring injury and told reporters today that he will not play against Carolina on Sunday. So Paulson Adebo's season is over, which means Alontae Taylor and Marshawn Lattimore will be your starting cornerbacks in Week 18 against Carolina as the Saints try to get to 8-9 on the season. The others that did not practice, of note, James Hurst and Andrews Pete, the left side of your offensive line. Ryan Ramczyk, your right tackle. So 3 of your 5 starters on the offensive line did not practice. And Juwan Johnson also did not practice with a quadricep injury. Now, Ramczyk is listed as a hip injury and a rest day, and he's been given those rest days essentially all year on Wednesday, on that first injury report of the season. So I don't think that's any great surprise that Ramczyk is on the injury report. We'll see what this means for Hurst and Pete as the week goes along, and then Juwan Johnson, who's been such a key part of the offense all throughout the season. You'd love to see him out there to continue to stack good games on what has been a breakout season for the undrafted free agent tight end out of Oregon. The others on the injury report is limited today were Justin Evans, Chase Hansen, Taysom Hill was listed as limited with a back injury, and then Ty Summers with an oblique. So there's your injury report for the Saints as it's the first injury report of the week of Week 18 as the Saints and Panthers not playing for anything really in Week 18 as neither team has the possibility of making the playoffs. But for New Orleans, an opportunity to inch a game closer to 500. And, if the Saints do get this win on Sunday and they're favored by 3.5 at home, they would finish the season 8-5. And it would be a game off of what the Saints were a year ago. And I'll tell you again, now they got to go take care of business, but I think the way this team has played in the final month, when mathematically they still had a chance, but realistically I think we all knew it was a long shot and wasn't going to happen. The fact that they've played, that they've bought in, they've stayed engaged, and now they've won 3 in a row after not having won back-to-back games all season, now winning 3 in a row, it's a really positive sign moving forward. And I can acknowledge that. I mean, I am not someone who is optimistic about Dennis Allen's long-term prospects as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. I do not think the Saints will ever win a championship with Dennis Allen. However, I can also acknowledge I thought this team would have face-planted in this final month, especially with the road games at Cleveland and at Philly, and they won them both. So you got a chance to go 8-9, a chance to be just a game off of where you were a year ago, and maybe some reason to believe the arrow could point up if you get your quarterback situation figured out heading into 2023. So Saints, Panthers, noon Sunday in the Dome. They'll wrap up the 2022 season, and the Saints have a chance to get one game under 500. All right, after further review, we're brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Tell you that every single day. By the way, earlier today, we got our phones have been blown up. It happens all the time whenever there's rain. And, of course, yesterday was a day where there was just horrendous weather throughout the greater Baton Rouge area and really all across South Louisiana. But so our phones have been blowing up all day today. There were, however, reports of hail in the Baton Rouge area. This picture of quarter-sized hail came from Terra. So no matter where you are in Baton Rouge, if you experience a high wind, heavy rain, down limbs, potential of hail, it's documented, and you may have roof damage. And I tell you all the time, there's only 2 ways to find out if you have roof damage. You call us and let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection, or you wait till it rains, you get water in your house. And one of those options is better than the other. So go to the website, hudcoroofing.com. That's hudcoroofing.com. You can go to the website and you can fill out that inspection graphic right there. There's an inspection form right there on the right side of the homepage, or if you're on the mobile app as well. It'll literally take you 30 seconds to fill out the form. And we get you in the queue. We'll send someone out to your house totally free. You don't even have to be home. It's just an approval to let someone get on your roof, to walk it, mark it, chalk it, to see if you have roof damage. If you do, we'll help you file an insurance claim, or we'll help repair the roof, replace the roof if that's what it takes. We'd love to help. Do business with someone you know, a locally owned and operated roofing company, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. That's us. That's Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all. It's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. It is Pluckers Trivia night tonight, so as is customary, we'll do some Pluckers Trivia with our friend Muse, see how he does. We got Otter Locks coming up a little more than 10 minutes from right now. What are we betting on tonight? The Otter hit last night with his 3-team money line parlay. The Otter hit last night with his 3-team money line parlay. We'll see what the Otters got in store for us tonight. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal. supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, shout out to Russell at rclark68. I would assume that's Russell Clark. Just tweeted a bit ago. Walk number 2. A small late evening walk at Lafreniere Park in Metairie, listening to Matt Moscona on at 104.5 ESPN. So shout out to Russell. Appreciate you. Enjoy your walk. And thanks for tuning us in, man. Wherever you are, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, online at 1045ESPN.com, the app, of course, watching us on YouTube or on a WBTR, Cable 19 in Baton Rouge, Rev 144, or a 36.1 on the antenna if you're a cord cutter. We just appreciate you, man. We're coming up on, let's see. Next month will be our 13th anniversary of AFR, I believe. Yeah, 2010. It was February something. February something. I don't remember the exact date. February something.
Just go with, let's go with February.
I want to say it was like the 17th.
See, I was going to say February 15th, but all right.
No, I think it was February 17th, if I'm not mistaken. I'll need to check the exact date, but we're coming up on year 13 of AFR. And it's never lost on me how lucky I am to get to do this job, talk about teams I love, and to make a good living doing it. So thanks, and it's all because y'all watch and listen. Because if you didn't, I'd just be a guy in a room sitting talking to himself. So sincerely, thanks to everybody who's here. I forgot earlier, we talked about, do you have a poll update for us, Muse, by the way, if you could? We were asking which, today is the 19th anniversary of LSU beating Oklahoma to win the 2003 National Championship in the 2004 Sugar Bowl, of course. Well, Bill Barnwell at ESPN, the reason I brought this up, even, I forgot to do this earlier, Bill Barnwell did a thing where he broke the tie, basically. There are 16 split championships, notably, and he basically laid out the case for all and broke the tie.
That's pretty cool.
And his verdict was LSU, and laid out the case why.
It should have been.
Of course it should have been. I mean, and he laid out why.
If for no other reason than, the AP and the BCS agreed to do that, but it's fine, whatever.
Yes, but I'd also say Nick Saban and his legacy is a part of, nobody ever talks about that being, no one ever talks about 03 USC.
Yeah.
And it's because everyone always talks about Nick's 7 titles. And that was his first. And so no one ever clouds that. So Nick being Nick actually does lend LSU's 03 title even more credence, as odd as that may sound. Okay. Poll?
Oh, yeah, poll. Which is your favorite LSU football national championship 2019? Blowing the competition out of the water with 76%. 03 a second. 03 a second. No love for 58, but it's fine.
It's because nobody was watching that team is on Twitter.
Look, Warren Rab.
I get it. Come on. Billy Cannon. Jimmy's dad. the goat Ott.
Yeah.
Was on that team.
Ottfather Sr.
Ottfather Sr. Okay. All right, Muse, let's do some Pluckers trivia. It's Wednesday. You know the drill by now. Every Wednesday over at Pluckers, it's trivia night. Get your team together. Go play. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Win Pluckers gift cards, food from Pluckers, Amazon gift cards, great prizes. Even if you stink at trivia like Muse and you never win a round, you're still going to get to spin the prize wheel and win something. So, here we go. Oh, by the way.
We got a theme?
No. By the way, I actually think you're going to do okay today. I do.
Every time you say that,
no, I think you're getting at least 2 of these. I will be stunned if you don't get at least 2 of them.
Well, this wouldn't be the first time.
So I think it was our last show.
Yeah.
We did the game show. Come on down.
Yeah, for the 7 transfers.
The transfers.
Yeah,
we went through all the transfers.
Uh-huh.
And it felt like a disastrous segment of media as we were doing it.
Yeah.
I had so many people during my week off, randomly, just around town, like Kat calling me, Scone, I love the transfer game show thing.
No.
I was like, Is that just pity? I think it was just pity. Because I openly said how bad I thought it was on air as we were doing it.
You just take the pity, though, in that situation?
Sure.
Okay.
Hell, I'm not like, yes. Are you kidding me?
No.
Me not take a compliment?
No,
Yes.
that's
Give
fair.
me all of your compliments and adulation. All right, here we go. Muse.
All right.
What team was the winner of the 2021 College Football Playoff National Championship?
Oh, the Georgia Bulldogs. Oh, the season. Okay, sorry. Whatever. That's so stupid. Do I have to give myself a buzzer for that?
Yeah.
But it's the 21 season. That's a technicality.
You were too fat and cocky and happy, and you blew it.
But that's
You blew
a
it. Give yourself a buzzer.
technicality.
No. It's the 2021 College Football Playoff National Championship.
That's so
it didn't
stupid.
say. It didn't say.
I hate that they do it that way too. That's just such a pet peeve of mine. Because it's not. It's for the season. That's for the 2020 season. Your 2021 national champion. You haven't played in 2020. You played one game in 2021. You can't be the national champions of that year. That's so stupid. It makes me mad. Next question.
Hey, Muse.
So dumb. What?
On Monday night when they play the game, and they have the little waffle cone trophy logo,
and it's going to be dumb, Matt.
What year is it going to say?
It's going to say 2023, and it's going to be dumb because it's for the 22 season.
I don't care.
No one's going to say that Georgia or TCU is the 2023 champions.
Okay. You got to listen to the question.
Stupid.
You're like the little kid in school, the little whippersnapper, races to answer the question. Doesn't you start writing your answer before you hear the whole question. You got to listen.
Our problem's not with the question.
All right, you're 0-1. I'm disappointed now because I thought you were going to get it. All right, Muse, for 7 seasons and then a one-off revival, TV's Gilmore Girls featured a fast-talking mother and daughter who shared the same name. What was that name?
Please tell me this isn't one of the ones you thought I'd get.
Oh, I thought you'd get this. Yeah,
no.
I really did. Oh, really?
No.
You weren't a fan of the WB?
No. Well, it's not.
Feels like
I wasn't a fan of Gilmore Girls.
It doesn't matter. I mean, all those WB shows with Seventh Heaven, Gilmore Girls, Smallville, One Tree Hill.
Smallville.
The other
take
one.
it or leave it.
What was the other one?
Okay.
I love Smallville.
It's okay.
Oh, Kristen Cruick was so freaking hot.
I mean, that's fair, sure.
I had a
but
massive crush on Kristen Cruick.
I don't know. We'll just pull something out of the hat here and say Renee.
No.
Yeah.
Lorelai. And mom went by Lorelai, daughter went by Rory. Okay. And now I don't think you're going to get this one, so maybe you will. Hey, Muse, retinol is another name for what vitamin?
Okay. B? Vitamin B? I don't. Yeah, that's.
No.
Thought it was just called retinol.
That would be vitamin A.
I was one letter off. Look at that. Darn. You know what? I'm gonna claim the AP title on the first question because it's a technicality, and we're gonna move on and hang a banner, and I'm gonna go one for 3 here, Matt.
You don't get to claim the title. You have to be voted AP champion, and I, as an AP voter here, am not crowning you the AP champion for number 1. Actually, Paul's the other vote, so he's the tiebreaker. Paul, is Muse? Does he get the vote for the AP title for the first question?
That'll be a no.
Yeah, no.
Course.
Sorry, 0 for 2. Sorry,
Yeah.
Muse.
Yeah.
You lose again, Muse. Son of a bugger. You hate to see it. All right, it's after further review. Otterlocks is next. Stay here.
AFR.
AFR.
It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
Hit the button or don't. Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty, agent225.com. So many amazing testimonials. If you go read all the reviews of Darren James, here's one that came in from on social media. It said, everything was seamless and about as easy and stress-free as can be. Darren and his team were easily accessible for my million questions, guided me every step of the way. They communicated with me every step of the process, made it all very easy to understand, even the marketing approach that Darren and his team took. I appreciate you so much for all your kindness and assistance. Another 5-star review for Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Y'all, I work a lot. Darren James makes me look lazy, as he always says. Late to bed, early to rise, work like heck, and advertise. And Darren James is on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Three people walk into a bar. The first two order the same old margs. The third, Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and a crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. At
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Oh, just shopping lunch, getting ready to do a show.
Hey, man, the other 3-game team money line parlay last night hit. I was listening to you and Matt Humans. Matt gave out Fresno last night, the outright win.
Yes.
It pays to listen to Game Time with Jimmy Ott.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So my cohort, they do the field of 68, and I did some stuff in college football with them, but they are the crew I lean on. Highly suggest their videos and their stuff. Greg Waddell, Rob Dalster, Field of 68, and got their own YouTube channel and things like that. He gave me a 3-pack tonight. So
okay.
He comes on every Friday with us. I do a video with him every Wednesday, but he had to go find out the gender of his baby this morning. So I said, bro, you got to get your stuff straight.
Okay.
But that's what he's got. UConn -5 at Providence. That goes 7:30, I believe.
Okay.
4.5, 5.5. I think it's 5. Wake Forest plus 10.5 at North Carolina. That goes at 8.
Okay.
Illinois -3.5 at Northwestern. He understands it's 3 road teams, scares him a little bit, but that's his pick.
All right. So Illinois, let's see. I'm looking at, all right, Illinois 3.5.
8 o'clock.
By the way, the UConn line at DraftKings is up to 5.5. Would you buy the half point there?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so buy the half point. And let me check the Wake line at DraftKings as well, just to make sure that we got the right one. Yeah,
I have 2 myself.
Okay, that's at 10. All right, go ahead with your 2, Otter.
All right, 6 o'clock start. This one's getting ready to go. Penn State's really good this year. They're really good. +4 at Michigan. They've already gone on the road and won some good games. I mean, they're just they're a very good team, and so kind of going against that brand, we're going to take Penn State plus the 4 at Michigan.
1 minute remaining.
And then, last Wednesday it was, how was Arkansas favored by so little? It was their first true road game, and I think you referenced that earlier for LSU last night. So many of these teams have not been on an opposing court. Well, Arkansas is young, and they're going to be fine. I like them to bounce back tonight, minus the 7.5 against Missouri. Buy it to 7.
All right, buy it to 7. Arkansas minus the 7. All right, Otter, where are you tonight?
Snow Seafood and Steak.
Hey, man. Y'all get out, have yourself a great dinner over at Snow's. The Otter follows us here. Otter, we appreciate it, man. Have a great show.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, that's going to do it for us here. Love telling you about Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. Their patented, non-toxic, dry fog treatment. Call my guy Jim Woodworth and the gang over at Mold Zero, service in Baton Rouge, New Orleans. You deserve to live in a mold-free home or mold-free office. It's Mold Zero USA. Mold-0usa.com. Use Paulie. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.